Every month, I make a little over $2,500 for less than 3 hours of work using my DJI Mini 3. And in this video, I'm gonna take you step by step to show you all the tools that I use, the entire process, and how you could potentially do the exact same thing. So stay tuned to learn more. Hey guys, Dylan Gorman here. Welcome back to another video. For those of you who don't know who I am, I've been a commercial drone pilot for the last 5 years, mainly focusing on drone photogrammetry. And just like the title implies, I'm making a little over $2,500 a month using a sub $700 drone that you can pick up at your local Best Buy. And what I've been doing for my clients for the last few months is, well, basically going out, capturing a few photos, a few videos, and even creating a 3D model with a free piece of software that we'll get into here very shortly. And then once I capture all that data, I put it onto a website for my clients to view anywhere in the world. And I do this weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, it doesn't matter. I'm making a minimum of $500 every single property that I go to. And to show you exactly what I'm talking about, I have these two properties that are being developed right behind me. $500 for that one and $500 for that one every single month. And I'm not just doing these two properties right behind me, I've got a few other properties that I'm doing as well, again, for the $500 a month to go out, capture these photos, create the 3D model, and put it onto an interactive website for them to view and virtually walk around their property without actually ever having to come out here. And one of the reasons I've been able to get clients to pay $500 a month for their property to get a virtual walkthrough or these progress updates that I've created for them is, well, it saves them a lot of time. And it makes sense if you break it down. To fly out here, get a rental car, get a hotel, is more than $500 for the entire trip. And it makes sense on a cost perspective, where for us, we can go out once a week, once every other week, or once a month and capture all of this data and put it into a platform where they can virtually walk through it versus them having to come out here every single time. We're saving them thousands of dollars every single month and basically allowing them to have a full virtual representation of their property anywhere in the world. So why don't we go ahead and get started? I'm gonna go capture some data with this drone. I'm gonna show you the exact process that I do. And then once that's done, we're gonna hop in front of a computer and I'm gonna show you how I build out the entire virtual interactive environment for our clients to view all this data in. All right, so now that I've got the drone all set up, booted up and ready to go, what we're gonna do is just take it off. And then from here, what we'll do is we're gonna get the drone positioned around the property. So looking here at the drone controller here, we're just gonna get a few different photos of around the property here. So we'll just go ahead and click away here, get multiple different perspectives of it. And this is only gonna take me about 5 minutes or so. Cool. Now that we're done with the photos, let's go ahead and switch it into video mode. I meant to go onto the circle. Actually, what we'll do is I'm gonna just move back a little bit more and drop the drone height a bit, and then we'll select it again, and then we'll hit start. So now autonomously, the drone is just going to go around in a full circle around the house, which this is actually what we're gonna be using for our 3D model. And on top of the 3D model, and we'll also use this for the video orbit around the site itself. So we can see it all looks fine and dandy here. And what I'll probably do is I'll get one more shot in, one just a little bit further back so that we have a full circle around. And it looks like it's already executing it, a perfect circle around the house there, which this is exactly what we need. And not only is this a feature that you can use on the DJI Mini 3, but same with the Air 2S, the new Air 3 that just came out. And then once you're done, just land the drone and that's it. Less than 10 minutes of work. We flew around the property, captured some photos, also captured some high quality video to create our 3D model and our virtual orbit around the site. So we'll bring this guy back in for a landing. And it's as easy as that. Now, a quick little tip that I'm gonna give for you, I always have upsell items, and this one specifically goes alongside with all of the virtual data that we're gonna be providing to them with both the photos, videos, and the 3D model that we create the drone. Well, I like to do virtual walkthroughs with either my iPhone or I pick up a 360 camera. Here I have the GoPro Hero Max, but essentially what I'll do is walk through the entire property, go through every single floor, go around the outside, and have them a virtual walkthrough as if they were in the property themselves, virtually anywhere in the world. So alongside with the aerial data that they get, right, they get that aerial perspective, now they get the boots on the ground or the virtual walking around the entire property itself. So let me go get this virtual walkthrough. And just like that, an extra 5 minutes made myself an extra $50 just for walking around the property with a 360 camera. So now that we're finished with capturing all of the data, let's go in front of the computer and get all this data uploaded. So before we get into editing all of this stuff, if you guys want links to pick up the Mini 3 or some of the other DJI drones that I recommend, look in the description box below. I'll have a recommendation list, even with that new Air 3 that just came out. For 360 cameras, I'll also put a recommendation list down there. And then if you guys actually want to really learn how all of this stuff works, learn about photogrammetry and mapping, I actually have an online course that you guys can pick up today. Be sure to check a lot of those links down in the description. But let's go ahead and get started on getting all of this stuff into a website for our clients to interact with. So I'm gonna walk you through the entire steps of how I get all of the photos and videos ready to put onto the interactive website that we're gonna build out, alongside with uploading that video to create the 3D model with that free piece of software from Lumen AI. And then we're going to get that virtual walkthrough video from the GoPro and embed it onto the website. And for the website platform that I'm using Squarespace. They make it super easy to build a website in minutes. As you can see, I have week 25 already built out here on the back end. So all I'm gonna do is just duplicate this page, make some alterations, upload the photos and videos that I created. But actually before that, why don't I walk you through what it looks like for the client that's going to be experiencing this. What's pretty cool about Squarespace is you can have this as a public facing website. I have this as www.project521a.com. And that's included into the service fee that I charge my client. I'm actually doing the monthly plan, which is like $33 a month. Makes it a whole lot easier on the budget on the upfront side, right? This just gets spread across the entire project. So you're just subtracting $33 from every $500 that you make each month. Here's exactly what the client experience is. They'll be able to have a week selection here. I disabled a bunch of the other weeks. This is just a demo for you guys to play around with and take a look at. So we have week 25. This is that virtual model that I'm talking about, which we're going to create here very shortly. But essentially, this gets created from the video that we capture, that full 360 orbit. Scrolling down, we have the photos view. So we can look at all the photos that were taken. Everything looks absolutely stunning here, super beautiful. And then the last portion is our video section. So here's that virtual video that we created, the virtual orbit that goes around the entire property here. And then same thing for the 360 video here. So I'm just going to mute this, but at any point in the video, you can pause and you can scroll around, you can zoom out. So this is what it had looked like the previous week. And what's cool is when you guys look at the project that we just did, all of these walls are white from the 360 walk around that we did today. So this is something that, again, the client gets to experience. They get to virtually walk around the space. As I'm walking around it, they can pause at any moment. This is a great way to, again, virtually walk through a property without having the client physically be there every single week or every other week or every single month. First things first is let's edit those photos that we took. I have Lightroom opened up. You can use any free photo editing app. I just happen to have a subscription to Adobe, so I already get their Creative Cloud suite of tools. So that's why I'm just gonna be using the Lightroom application. What I'll do is, this is Project 521A. I'm just going to create week 26 here. So we'll just create a new album. Perfect, we'll open up this project folder, and then we're going to open up the 100 media folder from the DJI Mini 3. Now, one thing that I always like to do is capture both the RAW and the JPEG. So the RAW photo is the .dng, and then we see the JPEG. So both of these photos are literally the exact same. One just has more information. So that JPEG is going to be more of a baked in color, where that RAW, as you can see, is that more grayish tone. So what we're going to do is sort. We're going to go to list, and then we're going to sort it by kind, and then we'll get all of these DNGs, select them, drag them, and drop them into here. And what I like to do is copy the colors from the previous photos, or the previous week. So you can see I did these ones early in the morning. Now we can see the other properties there. So we will copy this. We'll just start pasting. So we'll have to make some minor adjustments to the colors just because it was shot at a different light. Drag around these until we are satisfied. We'll then copy and paste all of these same colors to the rest of all of the other photos here. And to export all of these photos, so I'll select all of them. We'll do export, and we will do small quality here. What I want to do is edit the video. You can use Final Cut Pro, Premiere Pro, but what I'm going to use, just to follow along with the theme of free or inexpensive tools, is I'm going to be using CapCut. CapCut you can get for free both on Windows and Mac. So I downloaded project here, or downloaded the application here. We're going to create a new project. We'll open up the folder here with the video, and we're going to select I believe this one right here that has the full video going all the way around. Perfect. So all we'll do is we'll import it. We'll add it to the timeline here, and I'm just going to cut out that initial beginning where it's a little jolty. What we'll do is we will adjust some of the colors here. And then when we're happy with the final output here, which this looks pretty good, we will simply export it, this week 26 video. Now that's done, we can close it out. The last thing that we're going to edit is our GoPro footage. So we'll get our 360 video that we captured. We're going to go ahead and open it. You do need to have the GoPro player installed. Again, depending on the 360 camera that you're using, they'll have their own 360 editing software. For this, we'll be using the GoPro one. So I am just going to trim out the first second of it, like so. And then we'll go all the way through to the end where it's sitting and right before I drop it down. So right there, we'll hit check mark. We'll export the trim. We're going to open up these advanced options. I'm going to make sure everything's in 5.6K ProRes, so we'll export it as HEVC. Everything else stays the same. Put our bit rate to the max. We'll hit next. So we can see it exporting in the corner. So outside of doing the photos and videos, the 3D model that I talked about, well, here we're going to be using LumaLabs.ai. They're an AI NeRF company. This is a new technology that's being leveraged to quickly generate three-dimensional models through photos and videos. So what we're going to do is once you create an account, it's all free. You're going to create here, and I am going to select that video file that we did. So here's our week 26 video that we exported from CapCut. Drag and drop it in here. So once this gets uploaded, it'll probably take about 25-30 minutes to process. And then once that's done, I'll show you here after this finishes uploading. So it's in the queue, but here we'll look at week 25. We will click on the share button right here. And all you have to do is click the iframe code that pops up right here. And then you paste that onto your website in the HTML editor. But that's pretty much it on how to do all of this stuff. Again, it's really not a lot of work at all. Essentially, yes, the initial pitching of getting a client on board is where most of the work is going to take place. However, everything else outside of that is very simple. You don't need a super fancy drone. Sure, I've got this almost $5,000 setup drone right here that I use for some of my bigger projects. I even have an Air 2S over here that I use from time to time. You know, this is a $1,000 drone. So really anything that can take high quality photos. If you can capture 4K video, then you're good. Obviously, the bigger sensor cameras will work a whole lot better, just gets a better image, but you don't really need it. You saw, or you will see whenever you go and check out the website for all of this stuff, you'll see that this camera does really, really well. And then when it comes to those upsell services, those are always the best to get an extra $50, $75, even $100 per client. And that pretty much does it. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to give it a like. If you want to see more from me in the future, be sure to subscribe. And if you have any comments or questions or want to have a discussion, throw something in the comment section down below, and I'd love to see what you guys have to say about all this stuff. But with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one.